What's up, guys? In today's video, we're going to talk about altcoins and stuff that is a deal breaker or what to look for when deciding whether to get into an altcoin or stay away and move on. We're always talking about what looks good on paper, what's a good altcoin, but a lot of people want to know what is something that you would say, okay, this is probably a red flag. So we're going to go into that. This is going to be based on the how to research video, by the way. I have it in the description if you want to see that. In that example video, I show Caspa. So this is going to be off the top of my head, but it's a quick checklist for you, especially if you have, insert crypto you're looking at right now. Maybe you're evaluating a certain play in your portfolio right now and you want to decide, is it a good time to hold on to it or pivot and find a safer, better play? So unless you're holding a meme coin, you need to have a doxed founder, a face to the name behind your crypto. Reason being, if you have a founder who's doxed his names out there, they're less likely to rug pull because they're out there, right? If they rug pull, it's going to be like a friggin' Don Juan situation where Terra Luna, where he rugged, Terra Luna essentially, and then he went on the run and they caught him in Argentina and arrested him. When you have an anonymous founder for a crypto, they can essentially do whatever they want per se because no one knows who they are. Their identity is unknown. So when I see a crypto that doesn't have a doxed founder or team, I'm less likely to buy it because I want to know who's behind it. Are they genuine? What's their resume like? Do they actually have expertise in this, specific niche or narrative? You can't find all these questions out if the team is anonymous or if the founder's anonymous because they can just write down what, I'm a genius, I've been in tech for 20 years. But if you can't put a name to, to back up their claims, then you're pretty much just going by their word, right? Which word in crypto is not bond. It means nothing in this space, unfortunately. So docs versus anonymous founders definitely do matter. The only exception, like I said, is meme coins. Meme coins are pretty much all anonymous, but still use them with caution. That's why they're called lottery plays, meme coins, because even though we expect them to have an anonymous founder or team, you still got to be careful because we don't know who's behind it, right? Another thing that I look for is the tokenomics, the centralization or decentralization of the coin. So if they have, let's just say, 50% circulating, they have 100 million in supply, and they have 50%, or 50 million circulation, that means the inflation rate is 50%. So a deal breaker for me is if a coin has, say, less than 30% inflation, which is make up a number, 30%. If I see the coin has a lot of inflation, which is selling pressure, I know that when I get into that coin and establish an entry, over time, you're going to see a sell-off take place. A good example of that one is Say went from like 20 cents when we bought it up to $1.15 and came all the way back down to the low 30-cent, 20-cent range again because of the unlocks. A lot of cryptos that have high inflation or bad tokenomics in this case is because they have what's called unlocks. The team either puts it out into circulation, they sell their tokens, or they have a scheduled release of tokens that may be an escrow or a freaking wallets, like a deployer wallets rather, and they just come out from time to time. So over time, you have that supply and demand play a factor, right? If the market is flat, but they're getting diluted, which means the supply is being put in circulation, they're going to see a drop in price overall. It diminishes the value of the crypto over time, which is why for the most part, you want decentralization or a more fully diluted marketplace for the crypto. So essentially, let's just say you have, again, that 50% circulating supply, and let's just say the team holds the other 50%. That is a centralized allocation to the team. Because they hold that half of the percentage that's not yet out in circulation, they can do what's called price manipulate. They can sell their bag or they can sell slowly, drop the price, and cause a lot of panic amongst investors who are watching the value of that crypto asset go down. So when you have a crypto, let's say like Bitcoin, right, 91 or 94% circulating supply, and there's no team holding it, not only is the inflation minimal, but there's pretty much no selling pressure coming from a team because there is no team behind it. So that does matter a lot in crypto. If they're very bad tokenomics, say 30%, 20% circulating, how much is the team holding it, which moves on to the next point. The allocation to the team. Are they fair launch like Caspa, where there is no pre-mine, there is no ICO, there is no venture capitalist holding some of the supply, early investors, no team holding some of the supply? If it's fair launch, that means it's fair for retail. Not much selling pressure, not to be dumped on to a large extent. But if the allocation is very large, which in XRP case it is, HBAR's case, pretty much any VC-backed crypto usually has at least 50% allocated to the team. If it's past a certain amount, to me, that would be a deal breaker. It has to be past a certain amount, like 80% plus. Because at that point, anytime the crypto appreciates, you're going to see the early investors who got it for free or pennies on a dollar take profits and sell, which is what happened with Solana. Solana went to 260 all-time high last cycle and then tanked, but they also had some issues too, which is why it went to $8. But before they hit that $8 with the FTX scandal, they were also down to like 20-something dollars. So VC-backed allocated cryptos do dump the price if it's a very large allocation. So whatever that varies for you, for me, if the allocation is like 70, 80, 90%, that's usually a deal breaker for me. Another deal breaker to me, in some cases, is it a fixed supply, meaning finite, or is it a non-stop inflationary supply? Which Solana's inflationary, Ethereum's inflationary, Everdrome's inflationary. To me, the extent is, to what extent is it inflationary? Is the inflation percentage very large? Is it going to be continuously inflationary? Or like in Solana's case, they're inflationary, yes, but over the years, the inflation goes down, which makes it, a little more scarce from a supply and demand standpoint. Or in Ethereum's case, they're inflationary, but they have mechanisms and upgrades that make it deflationary. They have a portion of burned Ethereum take place whenever a transaction is being utilized. And they also, because they move from proof of work to proof of stake, there's less net issuance, thus making it more deflationary. So obviously this all varies. I'm throwing a lot at you guys in this video. But to me, how large is the inflation? A deal breaker crypto for me, an example is Polkadot. Polkadot's inflation is massive, massively inflationary. When you have an inflation percentage that's so large, over time, it really suppresses the price appreciation on that asset. Because if the market's flat, but you're continuously seeing more in circulation, Dogecoin being another example, it's going to keep bringing the price down, and it's going to make it harder and harder to reach a new all-time high, to make any real profits. So it does play a factor in that as well. So we covered a lot so far: allocation, tokenomics, the supplies. So yeah, I think that's enough. Let me just go down the checklist of the video and see if I missed anything. So let's see. These are pretty much just deal breakers, by the way. Exchange listings, another one. If the crypto's been around for any period of time and it's only on a DEX, that means the team is not proactive. So if the team's not proactive, there's usually a red flag. They might rug soon, or they left the project, or there's some other reason why an exchange isn't listing it. So if it's been around, say, for a month, and it's only on a DEX, that's fine. But if it's been around for, say, 3-6 months, and it doesn't have at least a MEXC listing or a small exchange tier 3 listing, to me, that means the company or team or founder is not proactive, don't have money to spend to get on exchanges, or there's something wrong with the crypto, or exchanges know something that we don't. So that also plays a factor. Let's see what else we can find. Yeah, I think that's pretty good so far. Another deal breaker, potential one, could be social media or lack thereof. If they never post on social media, they don't have a website, or it looks shady. This is obviously very individual to you and your own perception. That could also be a factor. So we went over a lot of stuff. I think that pretty much sums it up. Everything else on my checklist, which, by the way, I do have it. Can't see it here. Obviously, it's like not shown on the screen, but in the video below, you'll see it, and on the research list, the whole checklist. Everything else can be, personalized to you and how much you want to weigh to each with each bullet point rather, but the ones I just mentioned, if it's very drastic, those are deal breakers to me. So I hope this video helped you guys. But anyways, now I want to hear from you. What is your biggest deal breaker for crypto? Drop your comment down below and let me know. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Really helps so much. That being said, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.